Yeah. Okay then. Right. So we are going to start now. Okay. Clout, money, and beef. This is someone who is notorious and always has the internet in a frenzy for all three of those things. Today's guest is Goodie, and welcome to another episode of Perazim's Classic Conversations.
Bougie, are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Controversy and content. Welcome to Perazim's Classic Conversations hosted by Based and Bougie. So I remember the first time I met you was on a podcast together.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, you're so nice, you're so sweet. Until I decided to go on your story, all I saw was literally you in just absolute beef. So I was thinking, who is this person? Because the person I met is completely sweet. So my first question to you is, obviously you are known for beef.
Yeah.
Is it a thing where you look for beef or does the beef come looking for you?
I wouldn't necessarily say I go looking for it for obvious reasons. But I feel like because of the crowd and the people that I'm around, then I get drawn to it.
Okay, yeah.
I would say.
Are you someone like where like you have to defend your friends when they're in beef?
I wouldn't even say I'm a person that likes to go and defend my friends, because I'm the type of person, my morals are like, you can stick up and defend yourself. And I feel like I'm always someone that was always having to defend myself because of the type of character I have.
Yeah. Okay then. And if you don't mind me asking, what was the last beef you had? What was the reason for it?
Well, the last beef actually, no, do you know what? Funny enough, I've never actually had actual beef, like a real beef with anybody on the internet. It's just always been nonsense. But the last time I've had a situation on the internet, or beef is what people call it, I would say just before the Badderz reunion. I would say, that was the last time I was in beef. And after that, I was just like, I ain't got time for it. I have to just focus on my business, because these people just sit here and argue. You stay there.
No, honestly, it shocks me when I see you sometimes beef, because you strike me as someone that's really calm. You mind your business. You focus on your hair business as well. So when I see people like picking at you, I'm just like, nah, this, they're probably picking at her, not the other way around. So speaking of Badderz UK, you decided to join this show, and I just wanted to ask you, did you go on there to promote yourself, or did you go on there because you had unfinished business?
My intentions was to go on there and to promote myself and to get benefits from the show. But unfortunately, because there was other cast members that I had known in the past, and I wouldn't necessarily say there was unfinished business, but I would say there's history, because going onto the show, I never had an issue or a problem with any cast member. As far as I was concerned, I was just speaking to the people that turned out to have issues with just a couple of weeks ago. So I was very shocked. So once I was in that situation, I didn't have to defend myself, which then turned into internet and ongoing drama for the show.
Okay then. And also, just one question. A lot of people have said that Badderz UK just paints black women out in a bad light. I made sure to watch it before interviewing you because I didn't want to talk too fast. And for the most part, it's just women twerking, drinking, and fighting. Like, what is the positive of these shows? I get that, people say it's entertainment, but on the one hand, young girls will watch that and get influenced.
Right, well, here's the thing, and this is what I feel like a lot of people get confused about, is a lot of people come on social media and they just want to be known. But what do you want to be known for, and what is your purpose? So then when you have opportunities like this, where Lani Good has given younger girls that may not be known, or girls that are coming or just want to expand or give more exposure to whatever they're doing, like myself, I just wanted more exposure to my business. A lot of these people that then get caught up into it don't have a game plan. And I feel like when you don't have a game plan, people are just going to look at you like you're just another black person coming on the show and just acting out of character. Because when you take away the show from them, what else do you have apart from the show? So people are only going to remember you for how you portrayed yourself on that show. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a thing how that the show makes black girls look a certain type of way, because you can only make yourself look a certain type of way.
Mhm.
But I feel like the show has an impact
Mhm.
on how black people are portrayed.
Mhm.
That's my personal opinion,
Yeah.
anyways.
And do you think that portrayal is positive or negative?
Oh no, I absolutely don't think it's positive at all.
Mhm.
It does have some positives, but I feel like the negative outshines the positive.
Yeah. I think the only positive that comes out of it is that you're more known. But like you said, it's like you're known for the wrong reasons. Which
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Especially if you don't have a game plan, you're just
Mhm.
going to be, as you said, just known for the wrong reasons. And a lot of these people are not,
Mm.
do not have any other form of connections with other people, or some of them may be working or doing other things in life, but a lot of them are not going to be able to then talk out or then to show other people that's not who they really are, kind of thing. You're just going to be known for that.
Yeah. No, that's true, because even with you, you went on the show. Obviously, you wasn't painted out in the best light, but towards the end of it, we know you have a hair business. I'm pretty sure your customers increased from that. So you had a
Absolutely.
game plan. But the other girls, this is not to disrespect anyone, but I didn't see no real difference. It's like they just, before they showed, they were
No,
arguing.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because it's true.
Even the followers as well, it went up. It didn't go up.
That's what I noticed as well. A lot of people, and then this is what I was saying, another thing as well. A lot of these people, they will come on thinking, all right, cool, I'm going to come on the show, I'm going to do this, act out of character, or just do things like they've probably seen other reality TV shows done. For example, like Zeus, Baddies. So we obviously all know where the idea originally came from. So I feel like a lot of these young black females are looking at other shows or other influencers from different countries or all over the world, and just trying to
imitate that.
what they're seeing and thinking, oh, if this works for this person, maybe it's gonna work for me. But I feel like everyone's time's different, and this is the UK. This is not America, and I just feel like a lot of people need to stop trying to force the whole America on UK. It just doesn't make any sense, because you're not going to see Shamira London fighting. You're not going to see the King Karens fighting. Like, they're very classy girls, and that's what the UK gives. UK doesn't give ratchet vibes. So I feel like because it's so forced on black culture, a lot of people don't actually realize what they're getting themselves into. If that makes sense.
And do you know what? This is what I like about you. At least you can admit it, because when I watched the other interviews, for example, Lani's interview, her thing was just like, well, we do what we want to do and it's just entertainment. But with you, at least you can openly say that, no, this is not painting us out in a positive light. And if you are going to take that risk, make sure you have a game plan. And you're absolutely right in the sense that I don't think it's going to work here in the UK, because the UK is more of a conservative country. Like, this is the United Kingdom. We sip tea and we mind our business. And even when I was watching the show, it's like you can see some of the girls is like they're repeating the same things that, say, for example, Natalie.
And also that as well, it's just like, to the engagement, I feel like a lot of them, they don't know how it works. So it's just like they're coming on the show thinking, all right, cool, just because I'm on the show and I'm around these people, I'm in this position, there's cameras in front of me, I'm automatically just going to become what I think I'm going to become. It doesn't work like that. And that's why a lot of the time when people are seeing like internet beefs and stuff like that, that's why when I said to you, I've never personally had any physical beef with anyone, but then you also said that when you met me in person, I'm different, because it's just like, I know when you create a certain drama on the internet, when you're going on lives and stuff, that's what brings engagement to your page and a lot of attention, and it builds up your following and stuff. A lot of people that are not on social media have now freshly come in, don't know, and they don't have a game plan. They've come in and it's just like, you're stuck now, and the people are just going to remember you for what you've done, kind of thing.
Do you think clout is a drug?
Absolutely it is. So dopamine. Is that what they call it?
Dopamine. You say dopamine. It's dopamine here.
Dopamine,
No,
yeah.
I think it is. And going back to what you said, it's such a drug that even when I was watching Badderz UK, I would be seeing some of the girls talking in an American accent. Like they're in beef, but they speak in an American accent. I'm like,
I actually hear what you're saying, and it's just like, we get it.
It's just,
but just be yourself.
It's just a little bit. Do you know what? Do what you want to do, but just be yourself. Like, be who you are. If you're from South London, if you're from Peckham, just act the way you are. But you would see them speaking in an American accent. And honestly, I just hope that the Badderz UK show actually pays off for them. I pray that they get the money and the clout, and their businesses actually
expand.
If that happens, that's okay. Yeah. But from what I've seen recently, I saw like the girls' followers go up like around like 1,000 followers.
Yeah,
It's
and even that as well, you are gonna have to be sitting at home at least 12 hours of a day on live to even get to 1,000 followers. It's just like no one ain't really got time to spend 12 hours a day just to get followers. You're not even. That's not £1,000 in your account.
Yeah. And why do you think that the UK is not really responsive to like ratchet reality TV?
The reason to that being, I just feel like the obvious reasons, like when you hear of the UK or British, England, whatever, it's you. Obviously, we know what England comes with, especially when you're in, I would say, suburban areas.
Yeah.
And like the food and stuff like that. We see what it actually is in real life. But every country has an image that's portrayed. And the image that the UK has is a royal image.
Yeah.
So other countries think that we sit down and have biscuits and tea when that's not actually not the case, but that's the image that's portrayed. So when it comes down to, I feel like the UK industry, they try to portray that image to a certain extent, because obviously we actually know what it is. But as I said, you're not going to see certain influencers cussing out people on live, talking about people's children, just doing the most. Like, that's not what the UK is about, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I feel like because we have that royalty image, they try to hold up to standards. So certain things the Americans may do, or they may feel like it's uplifting or entertainment to people, may not be entertainment to the UK. It may be entertainment to certain individuals, but industry-wise, and trying to paint the image that the country wants. That's not the image that the country wants to show.
And I'll always see people online saying the UK is so boring, you guys don't know how to have fun. I'm like, well, why are you not trying to force us to change our culture? Like, we're just naturally conservative. We're just naturally
I don't even feel like it's like that's funny that you said that, because I actually don't think it's the UK is boring. I feel like people are boring, because you can't sit here and say the UK is boring, because you go to another country now, and not saying that you could have done the exact same things. The only thing you're doing different is that you're around different people, different environment, and then probably may just be different foods or different activities. But the music's the same. The clubs are showcasing the same lights. Human beings are the same. It's just different auras and different energies. So with that being said, I feel like if you're saying you cannot have fun and the UK is boring, you're just bad vibes. Because it just doesn't make sense how you cannot have fun in a country that you was born in. People would rather put their all into a country that they don't even have status to even live in. So with that being said, it just goes to show a lot of mentality that the UK people have.
Yeah, for me, when I hear the term the UK is bad vibes, I don't think it's bad vibes. I think the UK is fun. It's just some people's version of fun is just complete ratchetness and ghetto-ness, and we don't have to go to that extreme. Like, I'm so sorry, here in the UK, can we just keep it cute and classy like we always have? Would you go back on the show?
As of now, because obviously they're filming season 2's already finished filming. I wouldn't actually have went on the show. It was spoken about. I spoke with like the producers and Lani and stuff, but I don't feel like personally, me mentally, able to go back onto the show, only because of the stuff. As I said, a lot of people may see certain things, but it's still real life at the end of the day. So when things are being said, things are being done, or things may be affected, or me personally, I just felt like everything happened under 12 months. Season 2 was still just got filmed within the 12 months. I personally do not feel like my mental state was good enough to be put back into the same environment to then go through the same things I was going through within the same year. So I just felt like I needed time to focus on myself, on my business. Because to be honest, I took time off. I had to put away clients for the show. It benefited me to a certain extent, but the energy I put into the show was energy that I could have been putting into my business. So I felt like if I was to go back onto the show, I would just be coming off my game plan, to be honest.
That's good.
Other people may have felt like it was beneficial for them, maybe because they ain't got really anything going on. They may be old of age, or their time's running out. So I just feel like to be relevant, they have to go back onto the show, because without the show, there really nothing in real life. And that's what I was saying earlier. When you take away the show from them, you look at them as a person, and what do you really have to show for yourself? Because you can scream and shout, people still going to watch you. because you're part of the show, you've got engagement. But that doesn't mean you're doing anything in life. You could have as many views you want in your live stream. What is it bringing to you on the table?
No, I always tell people views and engagement is not money. It's not the same as money. Like, focus on the money first and then let the engagement add to what you already have. They also called it the what was it? They called it the correctional retreat, basically, where they help women better themselves. Did you feel like anyone there bettered themselves or came out better?
All right, cool. So as I said, I like to speak for myself personally. So correctional retreat, with that being said, we all know what a correctional retreat is, and I don't feel like it was a correctional retreat. Although Lani did try and make it a correctional retreat because there was activities, there was things put in place. So I'm not gonna downplay the fact that she didn't what's the word?
Help them.
Fulfill what she was saying she was going to do, basically. Because unfortunately there was obviously bad seeds that was disruptive to the show, problematic for the show, and was just very disrespectful, and their behavior showed out in the end. Which is why certain people wasn't invited to the reunion. So I just feel like with stuff like that, it was very hard to work around, especially when you've got 15 other characters that you're having to deal with, and may not be 15 problems, but you've got 15 little problems from other people, and you've got one big problem, and it's just so hard to deal with 15 problems and then one big disaster. So I understand some people may not have felt like it was a time for them to change, but I feel like within myself, when I came back, I was reflecting and looking at how I was acting and how I was behaving, because as you said, that's not how you met me.
You're such a sweetheart. Like, when I go on your story sometimes and I see the beef, I'm like, who is this person? Because you're honestly, even when you come in, you say hi to everyone, you say hi to the guests.
I'm very welcoming,
but
my aura is good.
Yeah, but bad company corrupts bad. What's the saying again? Bad company corrupts.
When they basically, it's like, show me your friends and I show you who you are, kind of thing. Yeah, like, so it's just like, wherever you're around, then that's what people tend to then see you as, kind of thing, or may disrupt your life.
One, I didn't really like any of the characters on Badderz UK. I thought they was a bit boring, but the one person I did like, I think her name is V Diamond.
Okay, yeah. V and Diamond.
Yeah, she's I liked her because she seemed like a realist, and she seemed like she only bugged out when she was provoked. And there was this one scene where someone mentioned something personal about her mother, or just something personal, and she just broke down crying. And I remember thinking to myself, like, Lani, why would you air that? Like, that's someone's most personal moment, and someone just poked on something that was very sensitive to her in her childhood, and it actually made me want to cry. So it's like, why?
And this is so I know what you're gonna get to.
So it's like clout is a drug. It's like, even when someone's crying,
I feel like with that now, clout is definitely a drug, and certain things shouldn't be aired out, because we've seen like certain things that have probably hit the blogs with other TV shows where there've been sensitive topics regarding people's family members and stuff that shouldn't be aired out. But I feel like when you're in a space of filming, things are spoken about beforehand. I'm sure you know how it goes. So I feel like when things are spoken about and then someone is then coming out, breaking down, crying and stuff like that, me personally, from my own experience, I feel like it's made up for a storyline, because when things then come out afterwards and then people bring up proofs and facts to show that you're then lying, because it's like stuff get filmed, months has gone on, people are now going to try and find things to prove what's going to be shown, because you've obviously said things online. So I feel like over time, certain things that you may have seen on the show may not have been so realistic. People may have gone through those certain type of things, which is why I feel like those things are aired. So people, for example, you have EastEnders, a situation may happen at the end of the episode, they will say, if you've gone through this, if you experienced this, contact this number. So I feel like reality shows try to do that to get to people and their viewers, to say that you're not by yourself, kind of thing. Like, if you've gone through this, there's other people that's going through this. So not to say that they didn't go through that, but me experiencing and seeing certain things and seeing facts and evidence, that specific situation wasn't authentic.
So you thought she was faking the tears?
And she wasn't faking it. I would say it was more acting.
Oh wow, because the way she was crying, it seemed like it was real, like, you know. But if you're saying it's acting, you was there. You was there, so I can't say anything. There was another scene where you was beating the life out of
I knew
this
he was gonna get to that one.
girl. When I say you was thumping her, I said, wait, what? You didn't spare no mercy for her.
And you know why I didn't spare no mercy? Because to me, it was just more of a thing now. You guys are taking the absolute piss. This is our time to go home now, and our flight is actually in a couple of hours. You come to start fight at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Mhm.
I'm speaking to one of the other cast members, which is so funny because I'm literally so cool with this person now, and like we're friends and everything. I was talking to her mid conversation. The same person that you saw me in an altercation with had attacked me from behind without my knowledge, so I got
She
snuck.
snuck you, yeah.
Exactly, and my first instincts where I'm from is to just defend myself, kind of thing, because I've just been attacked. So I'm not gonna stand there and let anyone punk me, regardless of what anyone is gonna say, because of the fact that if the character I have, if I was to sit there and let someone then fight me, people will then attack me and then try and say, "Oh, I'm scared, I got beaten up." But then it gets very technical now, because then it's just like, for example, if I'm now not doing anything and you're provoking me, I'm not going to go out my way to hit you, kind of thing, because it's like me going out my way to hit you is not in my character. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not a type of person to go around fighting. I don't really like fighting. When I get into fights, I feel bad afterwards, because it's like, that's not really me. But I have to defend myself because I'm not a punk. My mom didn't raise one.
Yeah. I do want to ask one question though. You are, okay, just correct me, you're transgender.
I wouldn't necessarily say trans. That's what people assume because of what they see. And that's what I was going to say, like, people on social media will come on social media, you'll see things. But when you actually meet someone, that's when you actually meet the real person. So I feel like because a lot of people see how I am, they just automatically assume that because I do look feminine, I have a feminine voice, my aura is feminine, everything about me is just girly. So you're not going to think twice by looking at me. But people that actually know me, I'm literally just myself. Like, I've never taken any medication or anything like that. I'm just literally myself, and I'm literally one and only Goodie. There's no one else that is literally like me, kind of thing. Each to their own, and everyone's on their own separate journey. But I feel like within myself, I am still on my own journey, but I just feel like it's a different journey to other people, because logically and biologically, I am still a boy, and logically, I know what I am, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm trans, because I haven't done anything or started to go into that field to then classify myself as trans, if that makes sense.
So you haven't taken any hormones or basically transformed yourself yet. So you're
Exactly.
not still a boy. So with that being said, like with you being a male and obviously the way you was hitting that woman, do you think that was appropriate? Like for a male to be hitting
So that was my
female.
That was my point, which I was telling you before. And I feel like a lot of people will see one thing and they just saw me on the Shaperer opening up a car door, fighting Lani, and then me fighting another girl. They haven't seen the behind the scenes or what led up to the fight and stuff. So when I told you before, I was mid-sentence, obviously talking to another cast member, and I was attacked from behind. My first instinct is to protect myself and defend. So I'm now fighting. And unfortunately, obviously going to have the upper hand. And I'm not always going to have the upper hand, because there's always someone that's bigger and better than you, girl or boy. But that person just obviously felt like, because of the type of person I am, she obviously probably thought that she was going to be able to beat me up, in other words, because it's a fighting show. So these girls came on the show, and this is what I was saying, a lot of these people came with the intentions to fight, and that wasn't my intentions. So when I'm now put in a situation where I'm know what the show's about, and I'm not going to double back down knowing what the show is about, because a lot of people will come onto the show trying to act stupid and act confused when certain situations are happening. But you knew what you came here for, and you knew what could have transpired, or you know what could have potentially happened. So I can't sit here and say, oh, I didn't come to fight, I never came to do this. No, I didn't have intentions to fight, and I had intentions to obviously work on my business and get more exposure, but then I know what's going to come along with it. So me putting myself in that situation, I can't blame anyone but myself of how I got painted out to be. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like anybody should be putting hands on anybody, male or female. And I feel like if you're going to put your hands on somebody in an appropriate way, that's fine. But if you're putting your hands with no reasons behind it and you're being disrespectful with using aggression and using your hands physically, whatever happens afterwards, you have to deal with the consequences. Because every action has a reaction.
So say, for example, you had a son and your son was 6 foot. Say, for example, he's arguing with his girlfriend and his girlfriend just hits him from behind. Would you encourage your son to hit that woman back because you don't want your son to be a punk?
All right. In that context, I wouldn't allow that to happen, only because you're in a relationship, and I feel like you shouldn't necessarily, if you're in a relationship, arguments are going to happen. You're going to get frustrated. So I feel like if you have to go and lead and use your hand first time to fight someone and use aggression, because obviously your partner may have hit you or said something that you may not have liked, I feel like that's how you are as a person, kind of thing. Because in a relationship, it's classified as domestics. So with that being said now, that's basically what you are. You're showing domestic abuse in your relationship. Whereas now, if you're having a fight out on the street, it's different because you're not in a relationship with that person. You're more in flight mode. So anybody could come up from behind me. I'm still going to react the same. Whereas now I have morals and respect because my mum has brought me up. She didn't drag me up. So if I was in a relationship or if I had a son or something, I would raise them how to treat a lady right.
Yeah. So you basically agree that men should not be hitting
No, they should not hit women.
Period, at all. Okay.
At all.
And that's what I like about you. At least you're accountable. You're accountable for the fact that you think Badderz UK doesn't paint women out in the best light. You're accountable for the fact that men should not be hitting women, and you're also accountable for the fact that you didn't really do the right thing and you was triggered. So that's the side of Goodie that I usually see, and that's why we wanted to have you on here so people can see this side too.
Do you get it?
Speaking of, the whole trans thing, do you think trans women are women?
That is something that we can actually get into, because you know what? I feel like a lot of people, are so... Me, as I said, I always speak for myself.
Yeah.
I was raised, I'm half African, half Caribbean. My mum's my mum's fully Jamaican and my dad's Seychelles and Egyptian, So with that being said, I've always also to top of that as well, I have 5 brothers. So I've always been raised up in a certain type of way.
You have 5 brothers?
Yeah. I've got sisters as well, but I've got 5. I've got 5 brothers. 4 older brothers and then 1 younger brother. But yeah, so with that being said, the way my mentality is very different to I would say people in LGBT community kind of thing, because I have friends that are in LGBT community and the ones that I have been around, they I wouldn't say they move different, but the way their brain process thought is to certain things in life is very nonchalant. That's the word. And the reason why I'm saying that is because me as myself, as a gay person, as I said, however I look, that's just how I look. I cannot sit here and then tell someone, oh, I'm a woman, because biologically I am not. So regardless of what you've done, whether you have gone and got cosmetic surgery and dolled up yourself to look how you want to look, you physically and biologically are not that. But if you want to live your life and want people to identify you as she, he, they, who, whatever your pronouns are to be, that's fine, and people have to respect that. But to physically sit here and to argue with people calling you or having to, because that's another thing as well. You can't give respect, you get respect. And I feel like a lot of people feel like they try to demand respect. So I feel like in that aspect, they feel like, oh, because we're this, people should automatically bow down and start calling us this. No, people are not going to start calling you these type of things or these names that you want people to call you by. One, as I said, I'm only speaking for myself. Some gay people do too much and make people feel uncomfortable.
Sorry, this is the first time I'm actually hearing someone who that can actually finally say it. Like, sorry to stop.
You know me, I'm unfiltered. That's it how it is.
Yeah,
so
because I feel like a lot of people in the LGBTQ community, I'm so sorry, but you guys try to force your ideologies down our throat way too much, and it's uncomfortable. So for you to actually sit here and admit, no, biologically people are going to address you how you see you, is actually refreshing, because it's annoying. Like, for example, my colleague's son, he got detention after school because he didn't refer to his transgender teacher as Mr. X. Like, if you look,
and the child, the people got detention.
Yeah, it's like the child, all he knows is man and woman. But you have people getting arrested, you have people going to jail, all because they are choosing to say what they see with their eyes, which is a man. So do you feel like the LGBTQ community?
So that's I'm so happy you literally said it spot on, because they can see a man. So that's my thing now. And I just feel like, to me, as I said, as myself, a gay person, each to their own, everyone's on their own journey. Do you get it? Respect to all. But I just feel like, if you know you literally look like a masculine man and you literally look like someone that has just painted makeup onto your face, you now can't, to me, I just feel like you're disrespecting yourself. And the reason why I would say that is because you do live your life and feel comfortable. If you doing that makes you feel and sleep good at night, you're more than welcome to do that. But let's be real. In this day and age, people are not very comfortable with certain things, and it doesn't just have to be with how you appear. So, for example, where I've seen a lot of things online, people battle with whether, and it goes both ways, whether it's the girls, like a stud girl using the male's bathroom, or a trans woman using the ladies' bathroom. And I just feel like if you physically look what you was born as, I don't feel like you should cross those boundaries, because you're going to make people feel uncomfortable. And it's not because of the fact that, oh, they don't respect what you're doing. You literally physically look like a man and you're in the ladies' bathroom. So why are you here? A lady could have their young child in there. Like, and let's be real, not everyone that may seem to be what they are actually that. A lot of people with sheets and with clothing. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I could appear how I could appear to be. You don't know, I could be going back home to lay down with a girl in bed. So the same way how you could have that man in a lady's bathroom appearing to be a woman and saying that he's gay, you don't know, he could still have physical attractions or still could get an arousement of women. So I just don't feel like it is acceptable.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy that you said something where it says you're making other people uncomfortable. And I feel like that's what the LGBT community has done, is that they're not respecting, for example, straight people, Christian people, conservative people. They're not respecting our boundaries or our bathrooms or how we want to call people's pronouns. And I'm actually so shocked, because I was expecting this conversation to go the complete opposite way. I thought we was going to be having a back and forth. But your ability to actually be accountable is great, because I just feel like, why are you forcing people to believe something that is not truth? It's like, for example, me saying I'm a white mermaid pony, and now everyone should call me a white mermaid pony. It's just like,
no, but it's true. It's true.
But do you feel like the LGBTQ is stretching it? Because one thing I've realized is that I've spoken to one gay person, and they said to me, when, the LGBTQ thing was happening, all I wanted was just my rights to marry my husband. But now it's turned into this parade. And he said, as though the LGBTQ community is kind of making a mockery of him, in the sense that all he wants to do is go to work, be with his husband, and just not get beat up on the streets. But now it's like we have men half naked twerking with children in a flipping classroom. Like, so do you feel like they're just taking it a bit too far and a bit inappropriate?
Yeah, and I feel like express yourself, however, because when we go back home now, as I said, I'm half Caribbean, there will be obviously real women that will be shaking their asses out in the streets, dancing and wearing all sorts of different types of costumes, which are basically materials, because you can still see most of their body parts. So I feel like, because of the fact that gay people wasn't allowed to express themselves in a certain type of way. I feel like because certain countries have allowed gay people to do certain things, I feel like you ever heard the saying when your parents is like, I give you an inch and you take a length? I feel like that's exactly what the LGBT community has done.
They're taking it
So
too far.
the government or whatever society they're in have given you an inch, and you guys have literally taken that inch of rope and you've literally stretched it out and just taken a length.
Yeah.
And that length you've taken still has an impact on other people, because when I was growing up in school, there was never any problem of speaking about sexual education. I'm old, so I didn't. There was never any when I was going to school. There wasn't really internet. Just started to come around those times. I think it was around like MySpace and stuff. So when I was at school, there wasn't really a room space for parents to voice their opinions on education. It was more taken up with the school board if there was actual issues.
Yeah.
So I feel like because time has gone on and a lot of things are publicized on the internet and advertised, and we children have access to the internet, I now feel like sexual education has affected parents, because it makes them depressed, it makes them feel uncomfortable, and they start feeling mentally I wouldn't say confused, but I'll say mentally aggravated with the schools and the government, because they feel like they shouldn't be teaching these type of things, because you're basically, in other words, they see it as you're corrupting our children's heads.
Yeah.
And the reason why they say that is because of what the new generation are now showcasing and putting out there. You go and teach my child now about sexual education, and it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be a lesbian, it's okay to be whatever you want to be. My child's now going to go back home confused and go and Google that.
Yeah.
And so much things could spring off just by typing the one word of what does gay mean. You could end up finding the meaning to something that the child shouldn't even be seeing. So I feel like because the internet has a gateway to children, I feel like a lot of adults don't want their children to study that type of subject, because as I said, when I was in school, there wasn't an issue with studying it.
Yeah.
I never heard any complaints. I'm sure you probably study sexual education.
Yeah.
There wasn't really an offspring or outrage about young people's learning about it. And the only reason why, as I said, I think that is because when we was young, if we was to learn something in school, it would stay in school. It wasn't a thing where we found out we needed to investigate and start being curious.
Yeah. I do want to ask you one question. So you have the LGBTQ ABCDEFG movement, and they've
The alphabet.
Yeah, the alphabet. And they've recently added another term, which is MAPS, which basically stands for minor attracted people. So they're basically trying to normalize pedophilia. So they're saying that it's okay for an adult to love a child. What's your thoughts on that?
To be honest, from when I first heard there was LGBT, no, was it? Yeah, LGBT, I stopped. From when they done the Q's and the A's and afters, I didn't keep up. So to even hear this now, I'm just even gobsmacked. Because I just feel like there's only... Obviously, you can split it up into three, which just makes sense. Gay, straight, and bisexual. The reasons to me saying this is because, and as I said, I can only speak for myself as a person, regardless of how you look, biologically, you're still physically what you are. There's no other being on this planet that has a different sexual part than either male genitals or female genitals.
Yeah.
So when you go into bed, that's what you're physically attracted to. The appearance is just a skin. You can change your skin the same way when you're playing like GTA, you change your skin, you change your outfit, your hair, your skin color, whatever. We all do it here. If you want to bleach, change your skin, change your wigs, change your makeup. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I feel like there's only so to the answer to your question is, I just feel like,
do you think older people can love younger children?
No, I don't feel like older people can love younger children, and I feel like that's why I was saying I feel like there's only gay, straight, and bisexual, because what you like is what you like. So when you're now trying to add extra things to now sugarcoat or to gaslight the reason why this should be acceptable, or to push this narrative that you want to feel like it's okay for elder men or elderly women to obviously sleep with minors, because it isn't just men. We hear about young women teachers who are getting with these younger boys, and it's nasty, and it's sickening, because it's like that could be your child.
Yeah.
You're a teacher.
So the Pride movement is always saying love is love. Do you think love is love?
No, love is not love.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Finally, someone can say it.
Like, love is the word love, but I feel like to people, everybody has different meanings to love.
Yeah.
So a child is not going to have the same love as an adult's love, because an adult's love is different. They have gone through traumatic experiences. They have seen different things. They've been in love already. So their love that they would have to dish out could be many reasons of type of love that they're trying to give, because they've experienced so much different things. So they know the type of love that they want to dish out. Where a child's love, before they reach the age of innocence, the love they're going to give is just innocent love.
And that's why I feel like that term love is so demonic. Because for me, as a Christian, I feel like, no, love is not love. Love has boundaries. Love comes in different formats. For example, when you're a child, the only love you crave is protection. As you become a teenager, the only love you crave is maybe, like, I don't know, sex. And then you become an adult, the love you crave is just commitment, a life partner. So when they say that love is just love, is so demonic, and it allows things like this MAPS community, these people, to just run wild,
to start feeling allowed, or
and it's demonic, because it's completely
yeah.
transforming the real true meaning of love.
Corrupting.
Yeah. I also wanted to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe in gayness. I think being gay is fake. And the reason why I feel like being gay is fake, because I notice a lot of gay people, like, for example, a woman will say she's a lesbian, but she's with another woman that looks and acts like a man, who's basically a stud. And then you have a gay man, he says he's gay, but he's with a man, he's very feminine. So naturally, gay people are actually attracted to the opposite sex, but they're attracted to the same people who act like the sex they say they're not attracted to. So what was your explanation behind that? Why is it that gay people say they don't like the opposite sex, but only get with the same sex who acts like the opposite sex?
I feel like it all depends, because me as a person, as I said, I like to speak for myself, because I don't like to put words in people's mouths. But me as a gay person, I just feel like, see how you said like gay is not real kind of thing? I just feel like whatever you're attracted to and whatever you're drawn to is what you like, because that's what your head's telling you. Like, I don't really feel like there's a physical meaning to that word gay, because years ago gay meant happy. They just, I don't know when in timeline it changed to being gay means you like the opposites, the same sex. But I just feel like if you like this, that's what you like.
You know, so funny, I remember I asked that question on TikTok. I said, why do gay people like the opposite sex, the same sex, but they act different? And every single one of them just kept saying it's because I just like penises, I just like vaginas. That's literally it. It had nothing to do with, oh, I like their character. It was just like sex. And this is why, sorry to say this, but this is why I find the LGBTQ community to just be so perverted.
And that's why a lot of people find
it's
are
just about
uncomfortable
sex.
and don't, and that's why a lot of people just are not fundamental with it, because they push the sex narrative so much that it makes people feel uncomfortable. And I don't know if it's because of the fact that, because gay is not something that's so openly done, only now it's being openly done, that because they wasn't able to just have normal relationships and stuff, so that they've tried to fantasize over sex so much. And I feel like that may be the reason to why now they're in the open, they're just able to publicize sex so much. But I just feel like that's what makes people get put off, because not all gay people are like that, or not everyone that likes the same sex is like that kind of thing, if that makes sense.
And that's why, like, if gay people came around and just
because I could sit down here and there could be another gay man in front of me, and it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I want to have sex with him, because it's just like, I feel like, as you said, if that's how you are, that means you've got literally a dirty, perverted mind.
Yeah, dirty. And I'm so happy you can admit that. And that's why I find the LGBTQ community to be very demonic, because they don't promote, like, if they was to come and say...
And that's why I don't really have gay friends.
Oh, really?
I don't have I've spoken to gay friends and I have gay friends in the community, but...
Is it because you think they're, like, mentally not stable?
One, they're not most of them are not mentally stable. Two, I feel like the stuff they get up to as well is not really in my forte. And I just feel like The third one is they just don't know how to move correctly, kind of thing. And as I said, for someone that comes from the type of background and lifestyle I come from, I just felt like I was just shown and taught a lot of things. So
raised the proper way.
Yeah, and me as a girl, I've never had to come out to my parents.
Oh, really?
I've never had to come out. So I just felt like growing up, I was already just molded into how to move correct and around certain people and how to move in certain environments. And when you don't have that home training, you're just going to tend to put people off. And with me, I can't be around anyone that's embarrassing me. Straight up, I can't.
And that's another thing. Like, if the LGBTQ movement just came out and said, hey, we just want to love, and that's it, then I would be like, okay, cool. Even though I'm Christian, I don't agree with it, but okay, cool. But with everything, it's just sex. It's just men dressed up in wigs. It's just men dressed up in thongs, twerking in front of children.
It's too much.
Like, it's not something that I can ever respect. I do want to dive into your upbringing a little bit. Did you grow up in like a Christian religious home by any chance?
So funny, my mum is a full Christian. And my dad's Muslim.
Do they agree with your life?
They don't agree with it because my dad. My mum is more okay with it, but she always has this thing anyways where it's just like, don't bring anybody to my house unless you're not serious with them. So I already know I wouldn't be bringing anyone to my mum's house unless I know that's someone who I want to be with. Whereas my dad now, I just feel like I'm just going to respect because I am a boy. So I know the boundaries I have. So I would know the same boundaries I know my dad would have. So me personally, I would never bring a guy back to my dad's house just for the respect in it kind of thing. But not to say that they have an issue with me. My parents don't really, as I said, I've never had to come out. So I feel like that pretty much speaks for itself kind of thing.
And also, you mentioned that you have 4 brothers.
Yeah,
5 brothers. May I ask, are they gay by any chance?
No, none of them.
So obviously, respectfully, would you say is there a reason why you came out gay?
I don't know, honestly. Me, I feel like people say that, oh, you was born gay, but I don't really feel like you was just born gay. I just feel like when you have adolescence.
Yeah, adolescence.
In your adolescence is when whatever you're around in the environment, I feel like that's played on a lot. So if you're around a lot of females or you're around a lot of things that are feminine, that's the characteristics you're going to pick up.
So was that the case for you? You were just around a lot of feminine people?
That was the case for me. And then as time got on, it became very mixed because I'm growing up, I'm still biologically a boy, but I've got a lot of feminine traits. So that's where, and then when I ended up living with my dad now, that's what came into place. And then when I realizing how to move correct is what I was trying to say, because I see what guys don't like or what other people may not like in gay people. So with that being said, I just feel like
so it was just because you was raised around feminine people. I
just feel like it was more because I was raised around feminine people and stuff.
Not to be intrusive or anything, but did anything like sexual happen to you early?
No, I've never experienced anything like that kind of thing. As I said, I feel like it was more played on because like when I was younger, I used to have like, a lot of girl cousins who would literally listen to like bashment music, we would dance. So I feel like it impacted me. Growing up in secondary school, had a lot of girls as friends. I do hair. I've always had hair as young, so I just feel like I just grew into
your environment.
Into the environment and the person that I am, and that's why I would never ever sit down here and say that I'm trans, because no matter how much I appear to be, I'm a boy.
Yeah. So what's your relationship like in terms of like religiously? Like, would you say you're Christian? Would you say you believe in God?
I 100% believe in God. Only reason saying that is because certain situations or things that I've experienced, and when I've literally gone down onto my knees and I've had to pray to God, I automatically know there is someone above. I've been Christian, I've been baptized and communion and all of that as a young age. But as I grew up, I then obviously just tended to go more the spiritual route. The only with that being said is because, as I said to you, my dad is a Muslim. So when I used to live with my dad, I've seen the Muslim side of the religion, and living with my mum, being Christian, baptized and all of that, I've obviously seen the Christian side.
Which one did you prefer?
I don't prefer none of them. But one what I would go towards more, if I was to take religion more seriously, I would go towards Muslim, because I feel like it Islamic makes more sense. That's just my personal opinion. But the reason why I don't go towards any religion is because obviously what I've experienced, I just feel like the spiritual path is for me.
Yeah. So would you say like God is proud of you right now
Um,
and your lifestyle and
I
sexuality?
don't think God is proud of anyone because you're always on a journey and he's always putting things in front of you and facing you with challenges daily. So he's never going to be proud until the day you see him, and then he will let you know if he was proud of you or not. So every living day you live on this earth is always there's always a better days to come.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's why they have that saying.
No, that's a beautiful answer because I know there's a lot of things I do that God's not proud of, and some
But
people
it's
will,
fine because there's always better days to come. Do
and
you get
people will
it?
probably see me as like a devout Christian. But at the end of the day, we're all sinners, and I just want to let you know now that God, well, Jesus loves you a lot, and He probably is going to do a lot of good work in you. It's just a matter of submitting to Him. I know you're drawing more towards Islam, but I would encourage you to draw closer to Christ because He is the way and the truth. Okay, so I want to ask you like 5 dating questions. It's going to be very random.
No, go
Okay,
on.
so the first one is: would you rather give one man 50 chances or give 50 chances to no? Would you rather give one man 50 chances or give 50 chances to 50 men?
50 chances to. Ooh.
So one man, you've given him 50 chances, or just give one chance to 50 men. Sorry, that's the way to I do.
Yeah, one chance to 50 men. Because at least
Really?
out of those 50 men,
Mhm.
Philly, there could be a chance with one of the 50 men.
Really?
But if I've given someone more than 3 chances, because everyone, there's only 3 strikes in life.
But
So
then
I
you're
feel
gonna
like.
end up being the person that's known for being with 50 people. So
No,
you
but then
don't
but you could. It depends because if we're talking sexually now, then definitely no. I won't be giving anyone 50 chances if it's 50 different men
Yeah.
chances sexually.
Yeah.
But if they're just talking like on a basis of getting to knowing someone, talking and dating stuff like that, then yeah, I wouldn't mind 50 different men. But physically, if I'm in a relationship with someone and we're building and we're bonding and we're trying to work on something and we've got a life planned and stuff, then obviously I'm gonna have to go and give that one person 50 chances because I'm not gonna build a tower to knock it all back down. It's common sense.
Yeah. Next question: would you rather be with a loyal bum or rich cheater?
Right now, I would never lay down with a bum because it's just like that's just not me. Do you get it?
So you'll be with a rich cheater.
I'd rather be for rich cheater because at the end of the day, the bills are gonna get paid. Money does not bring happiness, and I will put that out there. Money does not bring happiness, but it solves most of your problems and it may satisfy most of your needs. But that's the thing, you could be crying at night time, but then it's just like that's what you chose.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Would you rather marry Castillo or King Richards?
I don't really know now, but you know what?
Have to pick one.
I have to really pick one.
Yeah.
I have to pick one. It's gonna be Castillo because he's been in the game for time.
Really?
King Richard just came up and he thinks he's been around. Like, no, you're a newbie. Like, Castillo's old school, so
Really?
I'm gonna have to go for Castillo still. Yeah,
I would have to go for King Richards because King Richards seems like such a.
Do you know what it is? All right, cool. If it's okay, I completely hear
seems
that.
too loose for me. I'm so sorry. He just seems like somebody where he just sees the girl and that's it. He's left the relationship.
Like a joke.
Yeah.
I hear it.
And one more question. Would you rather marry an African or Jamaican?
An African.
Really? Why?
Obviously being said, I'm half African, so I kind of know how Africans are when it does come to commitment relationships and those type of things. And not to say that Caribbeans are not more serious in that sense when it comes to life and aspects, because there are some Caribbean men that are dedicated to life and want things and have goals and want to achieve things and build and create families. But I just feel like a lot of Caribbean men are just not life driven when it comes to what they want, the goals and what they want to achieve and what they want in their future. I feel like they just live as the days go on, whereas
African men,
they're very on point. And I feel like most of Africans back home, they have to work, not saying that Caribbeans have to work as much harder, because they're very much kind of on the same similarity, if you get what I'm trying to say, country-wise. But I just feel like Africans have to put more work in. Only meaning to that is because I feel like Africans already know their country is not, what's that word? No, not even that. Remember, Jamaicans and Caribbeans and most of the islands are colonized.
Yeah.
Whereas, so a lot of Caribbeans are easy to get statuses when they come to a foreign. They're able to get certain jobs, whereas
Yeah.
someone that is coming from Africa now, they have to work 10 times harder because of the situation already at hand.
Yeah.
So I feel like when it comes to certain things, African men, they're very on point.
Yeah. For me personally, I'm so sorry, it's African men all day. But Goodie, it was so lovely having you. I just love the fact that you are accountable. Like, you're someone who can tell the truth. I was really expecting to go back
because
and
listen,
forth with you on
child, a lot of people
things.
be thinking that you be sitting up here telling lies.
And by the way, I know you guys keep seeing like the very argumentative Goodie, but this is the real Goodie. She's actually a sweetheart. She can hold herself accountable. And guys, if you guys want, where can we find you, by the way, on Instagram?
Real life Goodie.
Real life Goodie.
And Goodie the Stylist on TikTok.
Yes. Guys, if you would like to see more episodes like this, please subscribe to Perazim's Classic Conversations, and we'll see you again.
Bye, guys.
That was amazing.